Because we don't want to be the parents that overreact and start yelling, start screaming,
Right.
Making you guys feel worse about a situation. But we do want to remind you of who you are and the standards of our house, which I feel is what we did pretty well.
Right. It's not about not skipping homework. It's about teaching us that when things get hard, you don't run away from them. You run towards them and you push through them. That's the main lesson that you're trying to teach us through that.
Hello, everyone. We are Greg and Jackie Francis, and welcome to High Performance Parenting, where our passionate goal is to encourage you to raise champion children in a crazy world. Every week, we will bring you multiple episodes from our extensive experience of raising our six happy, healthy, successful, godly kids who are confidently equipped to win big in life.
We deeply believe that any parent who is provided with the right knowledge and continual support can raise amazing kids. And when they do, all of our futures get better. If raising up future generations of absolute champions matters to you as much as it does to us, here's how you can contribute. Like and share this podcast with everyone you know. And together, let's embrace this journey of raising champion kids in a crazy world.
Hey guys, welcome back. Excited to be podcasting today with some of my best friends. Who's here with me?
I'm Chrissy.
I'm Abby. And I'm Bella.
Oh, and Hunter's over here. Hi, Hunter. Hi. We're all in the studio today, and we're so excited to be chatting. First of all, ladies, everyone looks amazing today. How's your day going?
It's going great.
Love the redwood look.
Yes. Promote
Abby
the
forgot
brand.
hers today, but it looks great on you guys. You got some new clothes for Christmas.
Yeah, we did.
I got a new one, too, from your sister as a gift.
Yep.
Yeah. She was really sweet to get you that for you.
I know. Did she come up with that by herself?
She did.
Oh. Why don't you tell them what she got me?
She received a army green redwood sweater for Christmas, and then she realized that my mom really liked it, so she came up all by herself that she was going to buy it by herself for mom. And so mom opened it on Christmas Day, and Ellie was so excited to see you excited to open it and everything like that, and then you guys are matching now.
We're twins.
She didn't even tell me that she did it until it came, so it was really, really sweet of her. She came up with it all by
I
herself.
think she's a gift person.
She is.
Most definitely.
And quality time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I love it. Yep, we had a good Christmas, didn't we, girls?
Yeah, we did.
It was fun. I think we're still kind of reminiscing on the memories of it. My parents coming in town and the family's fun time. It was a really good time. But today we're excited to chat. We have all kinds of fun stories to talk about. We were recently chatting about the importance of just following through with what our commitments are, correct?
Yeah.
And not kind of getting off track or doing things that are not who we are or the standards of our family, right? So it was so interesting because we started the new year off. We had taken about 3 weeks off, didn't we, for school?
Yeah.
We took about 3 weeks off during the holiday, and everybody loved it. What'd you guys do? Sleep in?
Yeah, sleep in, played, did whatever we wanted all day. It was really fun.
Made breakfast, just kind of chilled out.
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you like to do in the morning?
It was just really nice. You got to just kind of chill. And then by the end of the 3 weeks, you kind of didn't know what to do with yourself. You're like, well, Christmas helped because then you got all the new stuff. You're like, okay, how am I going to wear these different clothes? What am I going to do? What's my style? What am I going to do with all this stuff? So it was super fun. But then we had to do big cleaning. It was cleaning.
Yeah.
Yep, we had massive cleaning. That's true.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
That was good.
It was. And then, but after all that, everybody was kind of ready to get back on a schedule.
Yeah.
But we had taken some time off, which was great. But during that time, we realized the importance of making sure that we were kind of up to standards with where we wanted to be with school. So the next sprint here before we take a break in the springtime is we're all caught up, right? We're all caught up. And, you know, at our house, we give a lot of flexibility to you guys to do your homework, right? Yeah. Don't you feel, Belle?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And I think that one of the things is that we try really hard to let you guys, as the oldest, you know, do your homework when you feel it needs to get done. And when you're done for the day, you're done for the day.
Yeah, there's really, really good amount of work time, but then when you're done with your work, you allow us to determine, you know, when we can be done, how much, like, you let us kind of manage our own school schedule as long as we get it done by the end of the week.
Correct. Which is a lot of freedom
Yeah.
to do so and just a lot of trust with you guys.
For sure.
But we had a situation that happened, and I'm sure many other parents can relate to this, where you literally are like, I think everyone's on track. I think we're all doing well. And then all of a sudden it dawns on us, maybe the Holy Spirit's prompting me to check a little bit about where we are with, you know, homework or where we are with chores or where we are with projects or whatever it may be, right? And so we had a situation where that happened over the winter break here, where at the very beginning of us starting up again, I felt prompted to kind of check in with where everybody was, kind of like a homework check. We do kind of like a homework check at our house where, typically we know for the younger three where they are all the time. They're kind of getting tutored by you guys for math and for reading. And so we know where everybody is. But for the older, sometimes I do a little homework check where I see where everybody is and check to see, is everybody understanding where they're working right now, how their subjects are going, and if they're caught up to everybody and what we're trying to get done, correct? And so we did a homework check, and unfortunately, Bella was busted during the homework check.
Yep.
Why don't you explain to them the scenario a little bit, Belle?
Well, so we were into a more difficult unit in math, and I was getting frustrated. And so I decided to kind of avoid that section and work harder on history and English and other subjects I like. That wasn't such a good idea because homework check came around and I was 2 weeks behind in math. And then I had to get to work.
Get to work.
Yeah.
Yes, homework check. It exposed that Bella was several maths behind her sisters, and it was a good learning curve. By the way, we've all gone through this. I mean, I think everybody can attest. When something kind of gets hard, what do most people do?
They quit, they bail, they avoid whatever it may be.
They just stop doing the hard work for a little bit, hoping somehow it'll go away.
It never does.
It
doesn't go away.
I was going to try to make it up over the next couple weeks, but, that's easier said than done.
Yeah. She got 2 weeks behind before winter break, and then instead of kind of maybe working on it during winter break, you enjoyed your winter break too.
Yeah. The plan is to work on it during winter break, and then that didn't happen.
No, it didn't happen. And, for us and our family, we all make mistakes. Chrissy, can you attest to maybe at one point getting checked with homework check before?
When we started homeschooling, I was in 4th grade, and I, for some reason, just didn't want to do math. I didn't want to do actually
math?
all of my subjects. But this is what I did want to do. I wanted to color in my coloring book and come up with entire life stories to these girls that I was coloring, come up with their families and their favorite animals and colors and everything that a 4th grade girl would think of. So I was working all day on these really actually very good coloring papers, in my opinion.
They were actually really good.
Yeah, I had 10 of these amazing papers I was so proud of.
I also remember during this time, me and Chris were doing them together, and I got 2 done in the time she got 10, and I was very confused because I was doing my homework and I was on track. I was like, how did she get done 10 in the time that I got done 2?
Exactly. So I ended up that I was just kind of scribbling in all my homework books and not really doing any work. So one day the girls had a question about one of the tests we were doing, and whenever we have a question, we tend to go to each other first. So both of them had a question about the same problem in English. So what I did it really quick because I hadn't done the test. So I worked on it really quick and covered the rest of the ones that I hadn't done with my coloring papers. And Mom starts pulling back my papers what is this, Chrissy? What's going on? And then I said I wasn't skipping. I told her that I wasn't skipping my homework when really I was. So about a week later, I got caught for it all. And yeah, I had a couple months of hard work of catching up on homework. It was not good.
Abby, do you have any stories that you can think of?
Yes, there's definitely been times whether it's not exactly. I've always been on track with homework. I gotta just say I've mostly been on track.
I agree.
Except when it comes to reading. That's
yes.
That's a area that I'm improving on. Let's just put it that way. So. Mom's had to help me make sure. Okay,
Yes.
Abby, you got to make sure you stay on track. She gives me a lot of grace with my reading because it's not one of my favorite subjects, and we have to read a certain amount of books in the year so we can make sure we're educating ourselves, whether it's history or whether it's some sort of really good book. And yeah, I've barely squeaked by that. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. And we've all learned lessons. I know Ellie went through it earlier in the last year. Actually, she went through it. Same thing, where some of her math got a little difficult, and she didn't really realize how behind she was getting. And so in our house, we try really hard to keep an open policy where y'all can easily bring things to us and talk to us about stuff. I find that most times you don't want to, right? It's easier not to. Is that how you would explain it?
Yeah, because if you know you're doing something wrong deep down, you tend to not want to expose it, but it gets exposed anyway at some point.
Mm-hmm. What's your thoughts on that, Val?
Yep, I agree with Chrissy. And I remember when Drews was going through it because he was playing with Legos when he was supposed to be watching his math videos.
Such a boy.
He did. He went through a season 2. And again, it can be homework and it can be other things. Abby's been known to distract herself pretty heavily in gardening things and animal, like looking to see different dogs and things and their different pedigree and ways to breed them eventually and things that you're interested in. And I think everybody can get distracted, right? And I think as humans, it's nature for us. We naturally want to do things that we enjoy, right? And that comes easy and that is not hard and that we think, oh, it'll come to us later, right? It'll be okay. Yeah. And I just got to tell you, first of all, as parents, like if you're out there and you're like, oh gosh, that's my kid. They're kind of lacking in certain areas. Maybe it's in chores. Maybe it's in school. Maybe it's in even their ability to thrive in home standards, or maybe it has to do with even how they're communicating. We all can get lazy in different aspects. The important part is that when we do come up against that, how do we handle it with our kids? How do we take it upon ourselves to make sure we educate our kids, to help our kids, to move them in the right direction, because things are going to happen like this. Like Greg and I always talk about all the time, is that we want to be able to equip you guys to be able to handle things as you get older. It's really not about just homework. Like some of the math that you guys learned today, it's pretty difficult stuff. And we always laugh because I don't even know when we're going to use some of it. Right?
Yeah.
But some of it's just for discipline. We're learning how to be able to figure things out that are difficult and not feel like we have to rely on just looking up an answer on Google or something like that. And so I think that there's ways to learn and grow and change, but when it takes over too much where we do not get to enjoy it, we need to be able to communicate it with our kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that in Bella's situation, which we'll pick up in just a minute in the next episode, it's really important to understand that when you are caught not living up to the standards of the family, how do we handle something like that? Mm-hmm. Because we don't want to be the parents that overreact and start yelling, start screaming,
right.
Making you guys feel worse about a situation. But we do want to remind you of who you are and the standards of our house, which I feel is what we did pretty well.
Right. It's not about not skipping homework. It's about teaching us that when things get hard, you don't run away from them. You run towards them and you push through them. That's the main lesson that you're trying to teach us through that.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Ab?
Yeah, it's just mostly all of this is life lessons to help prepare us, like you were saying, and how you're just going to have to face sometimes hard things. Hard things happen in life. Like, you can do hard things, like we say. You can do hard things. It just takes, you got to, put it, it doesn't come naturally. You got to make sure that, as a young kid, that you're building it into, the parents are building it into their kids. Because as young kids, we have more of a tendency to do what we feel like because we have not had as much life experience like our parents have. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah. What do you think, Belle?
Yeah, I agree with everything everyone's saying.
Yeah. It's important for us to make sure that we're taking the time to slow down and teach the lessons with our kids. So why don't we hit on that for the next one?
Hey everyone, thanks for listening and thanks for your love and support. We hope that today's episode added tremendous value to you and your family. It would mean so much to us if you would partner with us on our mission of helping parents around the globe raise champion children in this crazy world.
To do so, simply take a moment to like and share this podcast with everyone in your network. See you next time.